So the most important thing to remember is, shh. Today is the first day of my brand new blog. Hi, I'm Bethany, and I want to go to South Korea. Not many people in my life know this, but hopefully I'll be going to South Korea soon. There are a lot of obstacles, there are a lot of things that I have to do to get ready, but there's one thing that I don't have to get ready, and that's just a passion in my heart. A long time ago, probably, let's see, would have been 3, 4, hang on. Oh my goodness, like 4 years ago, I was having a really awful time, and I had just broken up with my boyfriend, and I was just in an awful place. And you know how people say like the breakup blues and things like that? I used to not believe them. It's like, whatever, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. It's a big deal. So I was looking for a certain video to kind of, and it wasn't a very healthy thing to do, to be looking for this video, because it was something that, you know, meant something to me and that relationship. And so as I was looking for it on YouTube, I came across this thing, and it looked weird. Like it had all these like part 1, through part 6 or whatever. And then I realized later there were like 23 parts, and each part was an episode of a Korean drama. And so I clicked on it, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure what I wasn't in my right mind anyway, so I just clicked on it to see what it was. And when I did, I couldn't stop watching it. It was a little bit ridiculous. I sat there for days. My sisters came in, you know, all 4 of them would come through, and as I was watching, I'd be like crying because, you know, she didn't know what to do. Should she choose him or should she choose him? It's just really hard. And then I'd be laughing really hard, and then and I just wouldn't stop watching it for days. They would, you know, they'd go to bed and leave me in the living room, and then they'd come back in the morning, and I'd still be there. And they were quite worried about me. But then I, you know, just kept watching them, and I really liked them. And through, you know, and it was kind of like, I didn't really tell anybody about it because you don't want to be that girl. So, but I am that girl. I watch foreign films, and I really like them. So, especially K-dramas, and not until recently had I started getting into K-pop, and that's partially due to me watching eatyourkimchi.com videos. If you have not gone there, go there now. Simon and Martina are just awesome. They give you a really good flavor of what South Korea is like for someone from North America. They talk about culture shock, they talk about just really cool stuff that's in Korea, but also just a lot of Korean versus American things, North American things. They're from Canada. Korean versus North American things, not necessarily good versus, you know, bad, or the other way around or anything like that. It gives you a really good feel of being able to look at a culture without judging it too strongly or too soon. So anyway, that's how I got started into looking into South Korea. The more I heard the language, the more I liked it, the more I liked how it sounded. It's just beautiful if you listen to it. So I am learning Korean, and if you want to learn Korean, go to talktomeinkorean.com. Even better, you can go to harukorean.com, and they actually have native speakers there 24/7, and they can shoot back to you responses, corrections, you know, thoughts on what you are giving to them in, you know, it's from native Korean speakers, and they'll do that within 24 hours. So if you have something that, you know, you want to be able to say to someone, you want to make sure you're saying it correctly, go to Haru Korean. It's worth checking into. It's really cool. So, and my written Korean, Hangul, is really awful. Super, super awful. Like, I know enough spoken Korean that I won't starve. I know I won't, you know, I can make sure that I can ask someone, can you please give me some rice? 밥 주세요, or something like that. But I would not be able to write it down. So, working on that. I guess there are parts that are a lot easier than English, and there are parts that are a lot harder. Like, they have 2 different sets of numbers. And so the Sino-Korean numbers, I know a lot, you know, I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, but the native Korean numbers, 하나, 둘, 셋, that's all I can remember off the top of my head all the time. I have to sit there and really think about it. So I have to study those more. I want to go to South Korea for more than one reason. I love K-dramas, I love K-pop, I love the language, I love the culture. I am in love with South Korea, and who knows, maybe it's puppy love. Maybe I'll get over there and be like, what? I believe God created us as unique people, that we all have different gifts and different talents, and they can all kind of be split up into different categories and things like that. And part of that, I think, is so that we recognize that we need each other. We're people who need to be together. We're not lone wolves or anything like that. We live in a community on purpose. Even though a lot of people praise the hermit lifestyle, that's why the hermits go crazy, because they're all alone all the time. In my heart is a passion for the sanctity of life and for helping with tangible and emotional needs. And in that vein, it's North Korean refugees. I didn't even know about what was going on in North Korea. I was clueless. I had no idea. I was just like, I don't know, maybe they're hungry over there, because everybody knows that people in China are hungry. Our mothers tell that to us all the time. You know, talking to my sisters about this and saying, hey, I really want to go to South Korea, and I just really, really, really want to go. And my sister says, well, why do you want to go? What's the, you know, why do you want to do this? What's going on? And I said, well, you know, I just really like it. I like everything about it. The more I learn about it, the more I want to learn about it, the, you know, I just really, really love it. And she said, well, it'd probably be a good idea for you to find another reason, too, that's not so self-fulfilling. And I said, well, I don't even know what that would be. It's not like South Korea needs anything. They're a country that went from, you know, a third world country to a first world country without even like a second world country in there anywhere. They're just kind of like, we're poor, whoop, we make technology. So it's not like they need anything. They have a thriving economy. And I was like, well, I don't know what that would be. So then, and a couple of my friends had already at that point invited me to go watch a movie with them. And I didn't even know if I was gonna go, and I decided that okay, fine, I go. So I get off of work and I go to see this movie, and I can barely find it. I'm not there on time, and I didn't even know this at the time, but when I got there, I realized they waited to show the movie till I got there. Like, I was a half hour late, and they waited to show this movie till I got there. And I just thought we were watching a movie. I thought we were just, you know, getting a special sneak peek at some movie, and it was, I guess, just after the Grace Card was about to come out, so I thought maybe we were gonna see that. But it wasn't that, it was actually a LINK presentation. LINK stands for Liberty in North Korea, And I've heard that Soul Train is a great video to watch. I still haven't watched it yet, but they actually showed a different video, and it was about the North Korean crisis. It was about a lot of things that were going on in North Korea, and if you're keeping up with some current events, you'll know that Kim Jong-il, who was the president of North Korea, died recently, a couple days ago actually. And so everyone's kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? I don't know, you know. So, you know, I pray that the Lord will free North Korea and that it'll be amazing. But that the Lord works in His own timing, right? And He sets up leaders for a reason, for His own glory. And even though it's hard to understand, gotta rest in that. So not necessarily happy about his son taking over or anything like that, but we'll see. And but anyway, I learned that some North Korean refugees come to America, and the process that they get out of North Korea is awful. You know, the journey they have to make is just full of anxiety and not wanting to get caught, and it's just really, really sad, the whole situation, because they can't talk to their families anymore, and it really is running away. And but once they get to, you know, Southeast Asia, they're safe. They can go wherever they need to go. At that point, they're considered a refugee. So 90% of those refugees go to South Korea because there's not a language barrier there. South Koreans speak Korean. So I really want to work with North Korean refugees and help them in any way that I can. I want to leave soon. Part of my delay is that I want to give my family time to adjust. We are a really, really close-knit family, and I love that about my family. We're really close-knit, and we love each other, and we communicate a lot. So for some families, young daughter would be like, hey, I'm going to South Korea, and be like, okay, bye, see ya, have a good time. And in my family, I'm like, hey, I want to go to South Korea, and they're like, no. So, waiting for that to be an adjustment. Part of that is my dad is a really big part of my life, and he wants to just make sure I'm doing everything correctly. He works for the government, but that's okay, because I still need a lot of time. I have to do an FBI, you know, background check. I have to do all of this stuff, you know, to get ready, and I don't have a lot of that ready. Even though I've had several job opportunities, I still need to get a lot of paperwork around, and hopefully those two things will coincide, you know, my family's adjustment and my paperwork being done. Honestly, I believe in the power of prayer, and if you could pray for me, that would be the best thing that you could do. I know that not everybody believes in God, and I know not everybody is a Christian, but if you are a believing Christian, please pray for me. Pray for my family, pray for North Korea, pray for me as I'm getting ready to go. If you want to do something else, in addition to that, there's a donation page on my website. Even though once you get a job in South Korea, they pay for your flight, they pay for your housing a lot of the time. Sometimes they even pay for your groceries. But they don't pay for like FBI background checks and getting your documents apostilled and getting your diploma and things like that. For the school that I graduated from, I can't have my diploma until I pay off about $5,000 more. So it's gonna be a little bit before I can get that together. So if you want to, go ahead and donate. That's one of the reasons that I do the music that I do, is so that you can pay me whatever you think it's worth. So on this link, you'll find the song of the month, and then definitely subscribe so that you can keep up with what's going on with me. And I will be continuing this vlog until I have been in South Korea, and maybe if I come back, I don't know.